Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Sari Ki Sari Baatein. Hope you are doing good and having a great weekend. Having said that, I know the situation is not good, and I just hope that we don't go back to the time that we lived in 2020. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that the coming days are brighter for us, happier for us, because I'm an optimistic person and I believe that at the end of the tunnel there is always brightness. So, with that hope, I'm going to tell about today's episode. It's a very special one since we are going to talk about a puppy, how it started, and what was the inspiration behind starting this venture. This question was like I was often asked this question that what made you start a puppy? So why did you start a puppy? Because a puppy was something which is completely different from what I studied and what I was practicing before I started this entrepreneurial journey. So yeah, today, so I thought that okay, let me dedicate this episode for that, and let me discuss what made me, start a puppy and how a puppy started. So already, although yeah, it's not that that before we started a puppy, it's just one and a half year, I guess, but it already feels like a decade because I'm handful of experience of failures, experience of little success, experience of meeting inspiring people, and and obviously experience of getting so much of love from from my customers, from all the Apapi divas. So thank you so much for supporting throughout this journey, and we need more of your support, more of your love in the coming days because I think we haven't achieved even 0.1% of what we want to achieve. And so how it started is an interesting thing. Interesting is an interesting story. So I was a software developer working, working in a software firm, and I'm an engineer, and I did my master's also in information systems, and that's why you can see that how hardcore techie I am. But then every time that I visited my ancestral village, and I mean my native. So in my in my college holidays, during my office holidays, I often used to visit my native. So when I visited the native, I was so happy to see, so proud to see that women were leading everywhere. Where we now talk about women empowerment so much, it was already there in the in the societal structure of Assam. If I say that in Assamese villages, it is women who lead by example. So that was so inspiring for me. And but that's something which is positive. The negative part is okay, before going on to the negative part, I saw that women were working in a self-sustainable model. So weaving is an integral part of Assamese society. Everyone must be knowing that because more than 60% of handloom weavers are from Assam. And in Assam, weaving is mostly done by women. It is almost 90% where weaving is done by women. So you can just imagine what's the contribution of women for this for this craft in Assam. And yes, they don't. So it's not like that they are only weaving. So it's a self-sustaining model that they practice. So basically they look after their family, they look after their cattles, and then they take out some time for this particular craft, weaving, and they weave their own dresses, and they weave it for their near and dear ones. So you can just imagine how great it is, to weave your own product, wear that product. So it must be so touching for them, it must be so personal for them. Then obviously economy is one of the major factor. So when when you have such when you are so much blessed with talent, and when you are having so much of talent, you also want a particular amount of remuneration for it, right? So in that way, I always heard from them whenever I told them, why don't you weave products, why don't you weave saris and sell it to the larger audience? Because every time I wore mekla chadar or sari to my office, everyone appreciated. So that means that people like the motives, like the colors of it. But then why I always ask them this question: why was it that you guys don't weave it and sell it to the larger audience? But the answer that I got was heartbreaking. So they say that right now they are thinking that they should leave this whole tradition of weaving, and they should start some commercial activity, since this is not giving them money. So the amount they are getting paid is very very less, and their situations were also, and because of that their situations were also not that good. I mean, they they were not getting paid well for the craft, or for the talent they have. So when I saw that, it was always in my mind that what can I do for them. And that's how I thought that, okay, let me plunge into this, and let me take some products from them and start, just for experimentation, just start. It was just 1.5 years before when I did that, 1.5 years or 2 years before. So I took products from them, and I was staying in Delhi. So I went there. I told my friends and the near acquaintances that, I got product directly from weavers, so would you like to see my products? So they were so happy to see that, and I was so happy to see that, that they accepted it, and most importantly, they were also ready to buy them. So that means there was a complete market validation of that particular product. But on the other hand, the weavers who are weaving in my ancestral villages, in my native, they always thought that, the craft that they are doing is is something which is not of any respect, or which is not or they are not getting any recognition for that, or no rewards for it. Something that you are practicing this craft without any rewards. And and most and then I would like to also put this point that, there are many weavers in Assam who are leaving their this who are leaving weaving, and they have started practicing other occupation. And I always realize that this is not good, because in that way we'll be losing our own heritage, our own culture of weaving, our own pride of women leading the society. So that's when I thought that, okay, let me start this, commercially. Let me start this venture, let me start my entrepreneur journey, and let me take products from, let me practice a direct to market model, where I am taking products from the weavers and showing it to the larger audience. And that's how Apapi started. So the very genesis of Apapi was was about the weavers of my village, whom I always saw that, they were so much blessed with talent, but they were getting underpaid. So that's how, yes, so that's how Apapi started. And yes, I always wanted to do something of my own. That was always there, obviously. So I wandered around many jobs, I wandered around many professions, just to figure out that what is that exactly I want to do. So and what exact, and when I wanted to do something, I always wanted to create some impact. Obviously at my level I cannot create a massive impact, but yes, I always wanted to do something which can, which create a little bit of impact. And Apapi was exactly giving me that. So that's how I started my entrepreneurial journey with Apapi. So yes, and hence Apapi is here. So through Apapi, I'm so happy that I'm able to, showcase the rich culture and heritage through the motives that are, that are woven in our products, and all the colors. Yes, Assam is blessed with enormous flora and enormous fauna, especially floras when we talk about handloom. So it amazed me to see that, ladies who might not have even, completed their school education, knew so much about organic colors. So they were magicians. They used to generate colors from every other products that were there around their, around their house, like turmeric, like haritaki, then there are onions, then yeah, and so many. So I can just go on and on and on, but so I can just write a complete list about it. It was quite astonishing for me that, okay, look, there are ladies here who are not educated, as in, like, and for us education is how many degrees we have. But looking at them, I always thought that, okay, I mean, it's not about the degrees, it's about the knowledge that you have. So the amount of knowledge that they had, and amount of utilization of natural resources around them that they can do, always amazed me. So yes, I'm so proud that through Apapi I'm able to showcase the rich cultural heritage of Assam, the organic colors of Assam, which and yes, and this is like never ending uh, exploration. I'm trying to explore more. What can I bring for my? What can I bring more, and what can I also inspire these ladies to do? So yes, without them, Apapi couldn't have been possible. Like Apapi wouldn't have been possible. It was not possible that we could have started Apapi without their support and without your love. So with so yes, that is how, why we started Apapi and how it started. So yes, I hope, and yes, yeah, we are coming up with our next collection, which is going live tomorrow, which is Lalita Lavanga. It's all about yes, I think you'll get to know tomorrow, but it's all about, magical colors of Assam, and colors which we produce from our from our society, from our floras, which like it's kind of I mean, yeah, you might have already guessed it. It's about organic colors. So yes, so tomorrow it's going live. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoy the experience of it. So I want you all to experience the, the rich culture, and um, the beauty of Assam. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, and thank you so much. I'm always grateful for your love and support, and I'm always in need of that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm hoping that you take care of yourself, and I'm sure that we'll sail to through this difficult time together. Bye.